Happy Monday, guys. I hope your first week went well with all of your classes, and I hope that you had a good weekend. Um, Last week, we worked on solving systems of equations with substitution, and there's another way that we learned, if you remember, and that was with elimination. And some of you said you liked that way easy or liked that way better. So hopefully this won't be too tough for you to remember. Um, if you remember elimination, eliminate means to get rid of something. So that's what we're looking to do. When we look at a system, we're trying to figure out what can we eliminate? What can we get to cancel out? And then the ones we're going to do today, we're going to see something right away. We don't have to do any work to start off with. And if you look at this system, the first thing to remember, you've got to line them up, stack them up on top of each other to where they're in the same form, and they're sitting right directly on top of each other. And then ask yourself if there's anything that you could get to cancel out. And when we look at this, we see we've got a 2y here and a 2y here. So we could get those to cancel out. And then you have to ask yourself, would I need to add or would I need to subtract? So I've got positive 2y and positive 2y. So I would need to subtract those. So here in between, I'm going to put a subtraction sign. And then I need to put that on all three of them. Okay, because if I'm going to subtract this column, then I'm also going to have to subtract here and also subtract here. Okay, I know you remember how to do this. Please make sure you're writing this down, just like you would if we were in class. So 2y minus 2y just cancels out, and that's what we were trying to do. We're trying to just get an x or just get a y. Now here, if you read this, 4x minus negative 2x, and 4 minus negative 2, we talked about this, actually means that you would need to add those together. So 4 minus negative 2, I'm going to put a line through those subtraction signs, through those negative signs, so I know that I have to add. So I actually have 4x plus 2x, so I have 6x equals, and then I've got 6 minus 18, which would be negative 12. Okay, and then all I have to do is divide by 6, which gives me x is negative 2. Now remember, I'm not done. I'm going to see if I can scoot you over a little bit. There we go. I have to take my x is negative 2, go back up here, and I'm just going to pick the first equation. I'm going to put in a negative 2 for x so that I can figure out what y is. So I'll draw a line. 4 times negative 2 plus 2y equals 6. I just substituted the negative 2 in for x. So I've got negative 8 plus 2y equals 6. And I have to do a little bit of moving around in order to solve it. I'm going to take this negative 8 and move it over here. So I get 2y equals 14. Okay, and then divide by 2. And I get y equals 7. Okay, so now I have an x and I have a y, so I'm going to write them as an ordered pair. So I've got negative 2, comma 7 as my solution to that one. Okay, if you need to pause, I'm going to pause you while I put the next one up. Okay, here's your next one that we'll do together. Go ahead and copy that down. And remember, we're looking for something that we can eliminate. We're looking for something that we can get to cancel out. And I see a 4x and a negative 4x. And I know that I could get those to cancel out. And I have to ask myself, would I need to add them or would I need to subtract them in order to get them to cancel out? And I know that 4x plus negative 4x is going to cancel out. So I'm going to need to add on all of these. Okay. So the 4x plus negative 4x cancels out. Then I've got 9y plus 7y, so 16y. And then 5 plus 11, which is 16. And when I divide by 16, I just get y equals 1. Okay? And then I need to go back, and I'm going to just go back and choose my first one, put in a 1 for y. So I've got 4x plus 9 times 1 equals 5. And I draw a line through there. Okay. So 4x plus 9 equals 5. When I subtract the 9, I get 4x equals negative 4, because 5 minus 9 is negative 4. And then when I divide by 4, I end up with x equals negative 1. So now I have an x and a y, and I'm going to write them as an ordered pair. Negative 1, comma 1 as my solution. Okay, I'm going to pause you. Okay, here's your next example. Go ahead and write this down. And remember, we're looking for something that we can eliminate, something that will cancel out. And I see that I've got a negative 3y and a positive 3y. So I know I could get that to cancel out. And I have to ask by addition or by subtraction. And negative 3y, I'm going to have to add 3y to get that to cancel out. So I know that I need to add. And if I'm adding here, then I'm also adding here and here. So negative 3y plus 3y cancels out, which is what I wanted. 10x plus negative 2x would be just like 10x minus 2x. So I've got 8x equals, and then 18 plus 6 is 24. And when I divide by 8, I get x equals 3. Okay, now I know what x is, so I'm going to go back up here to the first one, and I'm going to put a 3 in for x. So let me draw this line. So 10 times 3 minus 3y equals 18. So then I have 30 minus 3y equals 18. I'm going to have to subtract this 30. Okay, and 18 minus 30, let me erase that. 18 minus 30 would be what? Negative 12. So I've got negative 3y equals negative 12. And when I divide by negative 3, I end up with y equals 4. So my x and my y as an ordered pair is 3, 4. And there's your solution. Let's do one more before I give you your problems to practice. Okay, here's your last one that we'll do together. Go ahead and copy it down, and remember, we're trying to find something that will cancel out. And I see a negative y and a positive y. So I know I can get those to cancel out. I don't want to subtract, I want to add. Negative y plus positive y is going to cancel that out. So I'm going to have to add on each of them. So negative y plus positive y just cancels out. X plus 3x would give me 4x. And then 10 plus 18 is 28. When I divide by 4, I get x equals 7. Okay, go back up here and put a 7 in place of x. So 7 minus y equals 10. I'm going to have to subtract this 7 to move it over here. So I've got negative y, don't ignore this negative sign, equals 3. And then in order to remove the negative from here, I'm going to have to reverse the sign. So I'd have y equals negative 3 because I divided by negative 1. Okay. So I've got 7, negative 3 as my ordered pair. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and give you 6 practice problems. Those of you that were submitting work, you guys did a really great job. You guys are doing a really great job. I was really proud of you. Let me hold this so that you can copy these down. Okay, and I will see you on Wednesday. If you want credit for these, have them submitted by tomorrow night, Tuesday night at midnight, and then Wednesday morning you'll have another video with some more problems and the solutions for these.